Hey everyone, it's Engin from Bbop.eu, and I'm with Mescurio, Wendy, and Fred. And we continue to hunting some musicians in Mess again. And I'm with Opal Ocean from Australia. So we catch you here. So I want to ask you some questions about your music and stuff.
No worries.
So I prepared some.
Cool.
But before starting the hard questions, so I just want to ask you, when and how did you start, guys?
That is the hard question.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So for anyone who doesn't know us, we are from Australia, Melbourne, and it's our first European tour. We're here in Mess, and basically, I met this guy down in Melbourne. Australia as well, so which is like a really musical city where a lot of things happen. And I think you were busking, you were playing in the streets, and my partner saw you, and she was like, "Oh wow, you really gotta, you sound like my partner. You should definitely meet him." And we ended up, she ended up dragging him back home. We had a jam, and from that day forth, we were like, "Wow, yeah."
And now you are here.
And now we're here. Crazy story. Like, no, it's been a really cool journey. Yeah.
That's good.
And so how did you start to make this kind of music? How did you decide this?
Yeah, I guess you can answer this.
It was, I guess, so we both grew up playing a lot of rock and metal guitar, like Metallica, old school Metallica. Before 98. Or whenever, all that other stuff came out. But we played a lot of rock, electric guitar, and it got to a point where we needed to make, we needed a job. And we, being true musicians, were like, we don't want to, work an office job. So we both went busking in New Zealand. We didn't know each other, but we both went busking. And started off rock and metal, and then had to change.
It didn't work as much. It didn't work as much, and like the flamenco thing was relatively, believe it or not, similar to the metal style. Because of the scales and some of the musical elements, and we managed to find work in separately through playing kind of flamenco
sound. And then when we met, we're obviously, because of that metal side, we were very inspired by Rodrigo and Gabriela because of their fusion, and we thought, why the hell is no one else doing this style? The style is just
awesome.
It's awesome.
It's got so much potential.
And we owe big credit to them for coming up with this unique style, and we really try and make our own stuff in that genre and even expand on that genre.
So for this album, you worked with Mark Lewis, which is a metalhead.
Oh yeah.
Who is a big metalhead guy. So how did you convince this guy for make a flamenco music?
Well,
who answers?
He was actually very excited to work on this project. Like we didn't expect to find him very involved in it. Basically, all right. So we're just wanting to find somebody who to mix our album, and we're like, man, who mixes this kind of stuff? And we looked at Rodrigo Gabriela's mixing engineer. And we find the guy, and we found man, he was just totally uncontactable. It was like one of these dudes.
Be in the industry,
It's he was nowhere near. He didn't have a page, didn't have an email address.
It's like Bob Rock or something. You just can't go, hey man.
And we found that he was working on a project, I think, with Trivium, and at some point he left, and he got replaced by Mark Lewis. And so that's where we kind of made the connection. Oh, Mark Lewis is kind of associated with that Rodrigo Gabriela guy. And so we're like, okay, he seems a bit more, he's looking for work kind of thing.
We checked out his stuff, and basically, he was very, we actually spent a long time going through a lot of people, our favorites bands, all our favorite mixes we went through, and we looked at the guys from Sweden, we contacted the guys who mixed Opeth and their albums like Deliverance and Damnation and stuff like that. And they did reply to us, but we felt the American sound for what we do just suited more, and Mark Lewis's mix were just so tight and punchy, and we thought
really good on drums.
It was really good, and it was really what we need. We love the mid-range that he did, and that's what we really important for the nylon guitars. So I couldn't find any contact, but I found his Instagram account. And I just sent him a message on his personal Instagram. And I'm like, hey man, this is us. We'd love to do an album. And he emailed back and he was like, man, you know, I'm actually really interested. And he went...
To this day, I think the only contact we have with him is through Instagram.
But in saying that, like, he was like, and still is, just, he came to Melbourne recently, and unfortunately we missed meeting him, but he went so far out of his way to help us. I mean, we were a band with 2,000 Facebook likes back then, 1,000 Facebook likes, if that, and he was just like, he saw potential in what we do. We sent him a couple of our mixes, pre-mixes, I should say, and he was just like, yes. So that's how Mark Lewis happened.
Awesome.
But that was really cool.
I saw I saw your TEDx video. Why? I liked it. I liked it. Come on.
Cool. Yeah.
It was. We were very nervous. It was it was basically the biggest stage we'd ever done, and it was very like you have the timer, a big clock in front of you, and we rehearsed the day before, and
we were
using
a new system.
Everything was
the drum system.
was
the first ever performance we used there.
And for us, like the nerves I guess took over a little bit, and for like in our opinion, it wasn't a very good performance.
It wasn't a tight,
But
we
like
kind of rushed
other
most
people
of it.
enjoyed it, so you know, it's
Yeah.
But yeah, we did TEDx. That was cool.
That was cool.
A good experience, though. You know,
It was really cool playing on indoors, big stage like that. Really enjoyed the sound, the crew.
Yeah, the crew. They're they're basically like day before. It's like, okay, this guy carries this cable, this guy carries this. All right, we have 30 seconds to do this.
We're buskers, you know. At the end of the day, we never used any kind of like specialty treatment. And we felt very special.
And they said, "What do you want on your rider?" We said, "Water," and they're like, "Is that it?" And we're like, "Yeah, water." We got our water. We're like, "Yeah, we got water."
So, that's funny.
True story.
True story, man. We got videos. I mean, like, look at this, our own room. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you something about this TED stuff because I always watch TED conferences and speeches, and I like that, you know. So when I saw you guys there, actually I was so happy that some musicians that I will going to talk that they made this TED talk and stuff, you know. For me it was great. So my question is, you were talking about some kind of innovation thing on flamenco music, like you were combining the rock and metal sounds with flamenco stuff.
That's why we got pitched for.
So can you explain me this thing first about music, the second the materials you are using on it, because Bbop is a marketplace, so we are also interested about the
gear and all
the
that?
gear you are using, because playing flamenco guitars with pedals and stuff, it's annoying.
It's weird. Yeah.
Anyways,
so basically, with the TEDx, the whole TEDx experience was about the rebellious and like people that were fighting the system and fighting the standards at the time, and you know, and there was a whole bunch of awesome guests. If anyone wants to watch the Melbourne TEDx video that was put up by that channel, it's really worth it. Like a whole bunch of inspiring people. But we got on, because we were fighting the traditional vision of flamenco, let's say, and that's in that whole perspective that we got chosen to play the show. And now, in regards to how we do it with the gear, we're fortunate enough to have been picked up by Yamaha and kind of now be sponsored by them, and we have a really healthy relationship with them. We're very privileged to be able to use their gear in the same way that Rodrigo Gabriela used them, because I mean, these are the guitars that those guys kind of designed with Yamaha to play that style, so they're definitely the most efficient.
Well, we basically like the reason we actually played Yamaha. I played Yamaha since I moved to Australia 5 years ago, and I actually got Alex onto it because other flamenco guitars, with the way we hit with the rhythms, we were going Alex was going through the tops, and the Yamaha ones are built to be hits. Like, you know, the Rodrigo and Gabriela, you know, went to Japan and they specifically worked with Yamaha Japan to put out this line of guitars, the NTX, NCX models of the Yamaha nylons, and
Really solid bracing.
Solid bracing, and so basically we went to Yamaha when we first started, and then when we started to get traction, they came back to us and they said we'd love to work with you, and it's just kind of like, it's like we got the endorsement we've always wanted because those are the guitars we were using anyway. Yeah. It's not like, oh, we were using this brand and then Yamaha came to us and we said, oh, cool. No,
they
it was
were
like
really the perfect guitar for us. Yeah.
And at the time we had a really interesting system. Both me and Alex were using individual stomp boxes. Yeah. And that was the final straw in the camel's back for Alex to change. He had technical problems with the wire distorting and a whole bunch of stuff and not being able to control the gain, wires breaking and stuff. So from that day, he went to Axifix first, and then through Yamaha, we're both on line 6 gear now. So for live work, the line 6 thing is just super easy. And then from time to time, at home, the Axifix in the studio and things like that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
a lot.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Thank you.
So we were with Opal Ocean. They will play like in 10 minutes or something in Fingers Bar in Metz. Keep in touch.